Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Carolina Auto Direct. We're going to take a look at their 2022 Ford F250 SuperDuty Platinum with the Tremor package. So huge shout out to them for providing this massive truck for me today. Check out their website because they have a ton of awesome pre-owned inventory. That link is down in the description. The F250 that you see behind me is finished off in rapid red, and they have a starting MSRP right around $80,000. And to start off today's review, let's take a look at what powers this SuperDuty. There's a few different engine options that are available. This truck has the 6.7 liter turbo diesel V8 paired to the 10-speed automatic transmission. It pumps out 475 horsepower and a whopping 1,050 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through the rear wheels. This truck does have the four-wheel drive system as well. It weighs in right around 7,200 pounds, and it has a fuel capacity of 34 gallons. This has a wheelbase of 160 inches. Its overall length is 250 inches. It has a width of 80, a height of 81.5. Its ground clearance measures in at 10 inches, and it can also ford through 33 inches of water. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this SuperDuty, let's start off with SuperDuty stamped in the front of the hood. All of these SuperDuties have that, and it goes nicely with the rest of the bulge in the hood that has a U-shape to it to give this truck an aggressive front end. It ties in nicely with the rest of this design. Now the Ford badge is front and center. It also has a forward-facing camera, which is great for extra visibility, especially with the size of this truck. And the rest of the grille is finished off in a dark brushed trim. It even works its way into the headlight housing, so I like how that's incorporated together. There's a little bit more trim in the upper section and plenty of cutouts in this entire front end to provide a lot of cooling to this engine. Now this truck also has LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. The turn signal is right in the middle of the headlight and the high beam, and then the DRL is on the outer section of the housing with the LED fog lights in the body colored section of the bumper. As you can tell too, this truck has a winch. So right in the middle makes this a very capable truck. If you're taking this off-road, you have some heavy construction equipment or anything like that where you need to tow, the winch is going to be very capable. Both of those tow hooks are finished off in chrome, and this has a small lower air dam just to help better improve with aerodynamics. Now I did not mention any fuel ratings or fuel economy ratings for this truck, as these trucks really don't have that. They have a large gas tank, they are built for towing, so MPG is not really important, but it has a great front end design to it. And as we move on to the side, this has a set of 18-inch wheels that are finished off in black, wrapped in a pretty aggressive all-terrain off-roadish kind of tire. And this truck, being the Tremor edition, has about a 2-inch lift. So it is set up for off-road conditions. This is a Platinum with the Tremor, so it's pretty much a fully loaded truck. These side steps are also going to be very capable, not only letting you get in and out of the truck easier, but if you do happen to take this off the pavement, they are made of steel, so that is going to protect the underside of the doors. The door handles are finished off in chrome. There's some more chrome in the lower side of the windows. And then with these massive side view mirrors, the Ford logo is on the outside. These have spotlights as well as the integrated turn signal. The top section is finished off in chrome, and you can actually deploy these out farther. So if you're pulling a trailer, that gives you even better visibility. This truck has a full moonroof up top, and it has a really nice side design to it. I love all the lines in the lower section. Fender flares are also body colored. The Tremor badge is on the back of the bed, as well as having the side exit dual exhaust. And then working our way to the rear of this truck, Platinum SuperDuty is right in the middle. This has a backup camera. All the parking sensors are in the body colored bumper, which is great to see. And this has a maximum towing capacity right around 15,000 pounds with a payload capacity right around 4,200. So if you need a work truck, you're taking this off the pavement as well. Perfect blend to give you everything that you need. Let's move on to this bed now. I can double tap the button on the key fob or use the button up underneath. And it has the soft opening tailgate, which is a plus. Spray in bed liner too to give you all of that added protection. There's several tie down hooks, as well as having the dome lights. You can turn those on and off. You could even probably put in the fifth wheel to get a little bit more towing out of this truck. And then this does have the integrated step. So all I need to do is push on that button to slide out the step. I can pull out the handle as well. For the size of this truck, if you're using the bed every single day, that allows you to easily enter and exit this truck, so you're not constantly jumping up and jumping out of it. I really like how that's incorporated. And then to go ahead and close this up, it's a pretty light tailgate, so I can easily do that with one hand. And that wraps up the exterior and the bed on this Tremor model. Let's move on to the back seats now. So when I open up this door, it has a nice design to it on the door panel. You can see the brushed trim on the grab handle. I love how the release handles are incorporated inside that grab handle, so you really can't see it until you have to use it. There's leather on the armrest, cool trim piece with some chrome. There's the window control. This has the Bang and Olufsen sound system too, and there's a good amount of storage space in the lower section of the door, as well as right in the middle. So it has that split style design to it. And then looking at these back seats, they're finished off in leather. The Platinum badge is right in the middle. There's a cool color for the stitching running down them just to give it a nice contrast. And what I love about most of the full-size Ford trucks is you can actually lift up the bottom on both sides, and that gives you an ample amount of flat storage space. You can also flip up this lower divider and have that up with the seats down. So if you need a little bit of division between your storage so it's not rolling around as much, you can even do that as well. And now it's time to hop up into this truck. With that side step and the grab handle at 5'10", I can easily make my way up. And with the back seat set at my height, I have plenty of room for my feet and my legs. There's also a storage pocket behind both front seats. These are even heated seats too, so those controls are in the middle, as well as having some auxiliaries where you can charge electronics as needed. There's air vents on both sides, as well as cup holders too. And then I have around 2 or 3 inches above my head. Pretty spacious for a full-size truck. That's what you would expect. Right in the middle, as you can see, there's an armrest. If I open this up, we have 2 cup holders if you need to use those. This has the electronic sliding rear glass that you can open and close as needed. And there's a good amount of visibility out of the back window too. So it's very spacious for your backseat passengers. Now, before we move on to the front seats, this massive truck has remote start. So to activate that, I do need to lock the vehicle. You'll hear it lock there. Double tap on this button and it will fire right up, especially for this engine option. That's a really cool feature to have. Now I have the vehicle locked. I'm just going to hit the unlock there. You can use the driver door handle or the keypad, which I think is great to have for trucks like this. You don't always have to have the key on you, so that's nice to have. Now the door panels finish off just like the rear with all the leather, tons of storage space in the lower section. This even has memory seating adjustments, all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments. Like I mentioned earlier, you can actually deploy those side mirrors. So if you're towing a really large trailer, that will give you the visibility, the added visibility that you need to keep you safe out on the road. These front seats have a great design to them too. More of that stitching, even a stripe running down the middle. They are power adjusting, so all of those adjustments are down on the side. There's a grab handle in all 4 corners. So that makes it really nice for all of your passengers to make their way up into this F250. Now looking at the steering wheel, it's covered in solid leather. More of that brushed trim surrounding all of these controls. Let's fire this back up. With my foot on the brake, that button is over on this right side. We can bring this to life. And looking at this gauge cluster, on the left side is the tach, miles per hour is on the right side, and there's some fixed information right in the middle, like engine temperature, fuel gauge, and a few other vitals. And below that, there's a lot more info to go through using these buttons over on the left side of the steering wheel. Also on this side is all the cruise control settings. On the right side is Bluetooth and voice commands, as well as volume and tuning for the radio. So using all of these dials, let's go through all this info. Where currently it's on the off-road page, so it will show you your pitch and roll, as well as the degrees for the steering wheel. So as I turn that, you can see those adjust. If I scroll over to settings, all of these standard safety features are on this page, like blind spot, the driver alert, your parking sensors, pre-collision, the cruise control. You can go through all of this just depending on what you like to have on or off. If I scroll back over to the left, there's even a towing tab. So when you have a trailer hooked up, you can go through all this information just to go through your checklist and make sure you are set and ready to go. There's normal truck information. You can go into the gauge view, look at the speedometer, engine information, even go into the seat belts if you need to. And then we have the trip and fuel economy. And then the last one is my view. So you can set this up with everything that you use the most. Currently it's showing trip, fuel, off-road status, and then the configure screen. So it has a lot of usable info right in the middle. And then over on the left side of the steering wheel, there's actually spotlights for the side mirrors. So you can turn those on and off. If you're using this truck at night, you can easily do that. All the headlight and fog light adjustments are below that, as well as dimmer switches for the gauges, even the cargo light for the bed. You can release the tailgate as well, and then this even has a pedal adjustment. So I can move those forwards and backwards, just depending on your comfort. There's one air vent. The entire dash has leather on it, which is nice to see. There's a little bit of storage right in the middle, and then making our way to the massive Sync 4 touchscreen system. Let's start off with the buttons just above that. So this has the engine braking that you can turn on and off, as well as the traction control. There's the hazards, a downhill assist control, even the lane keeping assist, and then a shortcut to the 3D camera system. So right now you can see the top-down view as well as the forward-facing camera, and we can pull up a lot of different angles just depending on what you'd like to see. There's even one for the bed, so you can monitor all of that information. Straight down at the hitch, so you can see when you're backing up to a trailer. Now on the rest of the icons here, we're starting on settings, where you can see your clock, general information that you can go through as you need to. To the left of that is apps. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can go through all of that information. You can set up your favorites tab, so that way you can quickly pull that up. There's the navigation, phone, and audio as well. And then over on the right side, as you've been able to tell, this screen stayed the same. So it has the split style to it, where you can pull up some other information. If you have the navigation pulled up on one side, you can still go through information on the other. If I just push on those now, we can scroll through that same information just in a little bit different of a view. So it's nice to have that configurability. There's an air vent on both sides of that screen. And then over on the passenger side, there's even a 12 volt as well as a 3-prong outlet. Over on this driver's side is all the controls for the locking rear diff as well as the 4-wheel drive settings. This has the engine braking as well as the Trailer Pro system. So if you've never backed up a trailer before, this will aid you in backing up. You pretty much just turn the style and it will steer for you. Really cool to see that. Right in the middle is power and volume for the radio as well as tuning. You can even change the screen to display the time and the date and then shut it off if you'd like to. We have a few other audio adjustments right in the middle. And then below that is all the climate controls. So temperature for driver and passenger are on both sides. Fan speed is right in the middle. This even has heated and ventilated seats. And then the rest of the AC controls are nicely laid out just above that. As we work our way below that, this does have a wireless charging pad along with a USB and a USB-C. I can close that up with this cool trim piece just to hide everything out of the way there. There's 2 cup holders behind that, as well as a good amount of storage space over on this left side. And then I want to talk about how to put this vehicle into gear. So this does have a column mounted shifter. If I put the truck into reverse, obviously the backup camera will appear, and you can't even go into the manual setting. It's all the way down at the bottom. Plus and minus is over on the stock, and there's even a driving mode that you can go through. So this currently is in normal. There's also tow and haul, eco mode, slippery, deep snow and sand. And then the last one, you do need to be in 4-wheel drive in order to activate rock crawl. So it's pretty cool for this truck. It offers those different driving modes, and then park is all the way back up top. Now for the center armrest, when I open this up, there is a massive amount of room with that removable tray. You can place a lot of items in there if you need to. And what I love about the Super Duties is they actually have 2 glove boxes. So there's a smaller one up top and a traditional one down below with the split style. So you can fit a lot of items on the interior. We'll take one last look at these seats, which have a nice design to them. And as I mentioned earlier, this has a full moonroof. So with that control in the middle, I can easily open that up all of the way, providing a lot of light for the interior. You can even open up the sunroof at the same time. And this is a work truck, so there are 6 auxiliaries here where you could hook up compressors, lights, any equipment that you need. You have a stock location for them. There's a sunglass holder, which is convenient to have. Even the sunshade adjustments and the dome lights are on both sides. As we get behind the wheel now of the 2022 Ford F250 Platinum with the Tremor package, this is a massive truck. I own a Toyota Tacoma, and coming from that truck, this is so much bigger. Now, while this is a much bigger, full-size, more capable truck for towing in situations like that, it's not all that hard to get used to. I love the split design for these mirrors too, so it gives you a lot of visibility as far as seeing close to you, the end of the bed here, and being able to see a little bit farther. And the fact that you can poke out those mirrors gives you a little bit more visibility. So it's easy to drive this truck. It has a huge turning circle, so you will have to make a few tighter turns or more turnarounds if you're in a parking lot. You might want to just park at the end of the parking lot to save yourself the trouble. But for what this truck is, very capable, and I like that it has some off-roading features to it. Now, this is not a hardcore off-roader like my Tacoma can be. That smaller platform is better through the trails. This is off-road to go to the job site, go to more open roads like that, where you need this to be capable in situations like that. If you're using this as a proper work truck, you have the winch, you can help other people get out if you're working in the rain, whatever it may be, you have a pretty capable Ford to be able to do that. And the fact that this is the Platinum gives you all of this technology that you already saw me go through. it makes this for a great daily driver. Now, in a lot of my full-size truck reviews, I've had people say, why in the heck would you spend that kind of money to daily drive this truck? Well, a lot of people like pickup trucks, a lot of people want to daily drive them, and a lot of people will appreciate the fact that you can daily drive it with the amount of information that this has. Now, if you're driving this and you're not using it to tow, that's a whole separate situation. We're going to give it a little bit of gas. And we hit the speed limit right there. Obviously, I'm not towing anything, so this is a pretty quick truck for the size. And it's very comfortable to drive. With the Tremor package, this has that off-road tuned suspension. It drives just like a stock or a normal F250 would. I don't have any complaints with that. And for the turbo diesel, it's not very loud. You can hear it slightly, but for a diesel, it's nice. I love how quiet they have become, just to give you more of that daily driving quietness and still giving you the turbo diesel if that's the engine you want to go with. And now as we switch over to the POV angle, you can get this perspective and how high we are passing sedans. This is definitely a tall truck. As far as driving it in between the lanes here, like I mentioned earlier, it's something that you would get used to. I do drive full-size trucks every now and then, so I'm pretty familiar with them, but keeping it in between the lanes here is not all that hard for the size of this truck. And even SUVs, you are the king of the road in this F250. But that's gonna wrap it up for this walk around review and test drive behind the wheel of the 2022 Ford F250 SuperDuty Platinum with the Tremor package. Once again, huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this massive work truck for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website, that's down in the description. Give the video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.